When I was 19, I remember that's the first time I was wearing panties 24 hours. It's a very turn-on thing. I love it. I couldn't even sleep the whole night. Just feeling so good about it.
So tell us about the first time you dressed as a woman in public. What's your sexual orientation? Are you attracted to men? Are you attracted to women? Hey folks, how's it going? It's Pete here from Thairish Times. What's the story? We got a nice Irish evening here in Bangkok. What do you mean by that, Pete? Well, I mean, it's nice and cloudy, not too hot. Pretty cool temperature, about 25 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for you Americans out there. But pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this weather. We've got rainy season here at the moment. I don't mind rainy season. I think it's pretty good. Actually, you'll see in the video, there's a storm going on outside the window. When the interview starts, you'll know what I mean. One of the best things about living over here in Thailand and Bangkok is you meet such a diverse group of people. It's like so far on the channel, we've had an Irish entrepreneur who sold his business and is now saving dogs on Koh Samui. We've had a Thai woman that's traveled to over 100 countries. We've had a man from England who has spent 36 years in Thailand and has traveled to numerous countries, I think about over 70 countries. And wherever he's gone, he said he's spent all his money, purposely spent all his money until he was broke. And then the universe looked after him. He calls himself an extreme backpacker. Now, that's just 3 people. I mean, the list goes on the channel. If you've been following it, you'll know that we've seen some really, really interesting people. And we've got more to come. Don't forget that. I got some big ones coming up as well. Actually, you know, I'm biased, right? Of course, I'm going to say I got some big ones. But trust me, I've been here for 11 years. And after 11 years of being in Thailand, you know, it takes a lot for me to have my mind blown, say. And I got my mind blown this week. We got that interview coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that one. Anyway, let's talk about this one. Today we're going to interview a transgender comedian living in Bangkok. Her name is Serene C. And just one more thing before we start. Some of you are going to watch this interview and you're going to judge. This is YouTube at the end of the day, right? That's what people do. Most people, well, not most people, some people do. However, ask yourself this question. Would you be willing to sit down and do an interview where you tell your deepest, darkest secrets and just be totally upfront and brutally honest about everything in your life, what's going on in your life? And then for that interview to be put online for the world to see, and for it to be there forever, because that's what happens with the internet. Are you brave enough? It takes a brave person to sit down here and do that. For sure it does. And if you're brave enough, ThairishTimes@gmail.com, and let's talk. Serene C.
Hi, good morning, good evening already.
Good evening. It's nearly, what time is it now? Nearly 5 o'clock. Anyway, thank you very much for doing this. And let's get straight into it. So first, let us know where you're from.
Okay, my name is Serene C from Malaysia and transgender, obviously. And currently I'm stuck in Bangkok for 2.5 years due to the COVID, and this is what I've become, you know.
So when did you realize that you're transgender?
A lot of people outside, they think that, you know, suddenly one day you wake up, you say, I decide today I'm gonna suck a Can I say that word?
Okay, go on.
No, it's not a choice. It's not something that you can do it overnight. You know, it's just that you realize you realize it when you're young, or either you are or you're not. And for my case, I'll say only speaking for myself here, that I knew it when I was 4 years old when I realized it. I was born with this thing, and then I didn't know what was female, male, transgender. I have no idea of all these things. I'm already stealing my cousin's panties. wearing it off, and when I wear it, I felt so good. I felt like, it's so turned on, and then it's me by its way. Like I just want to be in it, And when I was 6 years old, when I went to kindergarten school, where they hand me a book where there's male one side, female one side, boys, girls. When I saw the picture of a girl, wearing a pink dress and a very lovely shoe, I want to be in it so bad. That's how I know that I'm transgender. When I was 19, I remember that's the first time I was wearing panties 24 hours. It's a very turn-on thing. I love it. I couldn't even sleep the whole night. Just feeling so good about it. Yeah, that's the feeling I would say. Yeah.
So it's a strong kind of a desire, or I don't know, what kind of a feeling is that? I don't really understand.
Words, I would say very turn on. It's so me, and it's kind of like happy. You can say very happy. You could be you finally, and then it's like, how would I put this? Very pleasure kind of happiness, like very pleasure. Like you finally get to be so comfortable in what you're wearing, but you can't show it off, but you're like, felt so good what I'm doing,
Alright, so what pronouns do you identify with?
If you see me dressing up like that, you can call me a she, but if I catch you calling me a that's a compliment, okay, alright? Because I'm a comedian here.
You're certainly a character. So in your day-to-day life, how do you express your gender? Are you living as a woman, dressed as a woman most of the day, or is there a part of the day that you dress as a man, or what?
Okay, let's start from 19. 19 years old was the age that I was wearing male underwear. I get rid of all my male underwear and start wearing female underwear. Till today, I only wear female underwear. There's no such thing as male underwear in my drawer, And when I was 28, I came out and start dressing up like a female. That's when I'm doing it full time now. Wearing full-time bra, panties, and walk around with female underwear and dress. What I found out about being a female is when you need to put makeup. When I walk out, I can't just put on a dress and bra and panties and walk out. You need to go on makeup as well to look feminine. And now I found it lazy to make up. So the other way to get on with it is just put on a male attire and walk it out. It's easy just to get a lunch or something like that and come back.
Alright, let's go back into your background. When you grew up in Malaysia, what did your parents say when you were transgender? You told them you were transgender.
My father passed away when I was 9 years old. He didn't really know that I'm a transgender, and my mom knows about it, but I was sent to the orphanage home by then, so only my cousin, they didn't know I'm a transgender. They only know that I do steal their underwear. Any female underwear, I will steal and wear it. But when I was in the orphanage home, I do the same thing, but because girls on one side and boys on the other. So I went to the girls' side and stole some of their panties and bra and wear it in privately, trying to being private, trying to be no one knows. I make sure no one knows. But in orphanage home, there's no such thing as privacy, because you sleep in a dormitory, right? 18 of us in one dormitory. So whatever you do, somehow or one way or the other, you will get caught. Also, the orphanage home, on and off, they do spot checks. Okay, they found that there's bra and panties. They found it in my cupboard, and then it's like, who is this? You can't be wearing this. They sent me to a psychiatrist, in my orphanage home. Through that year, I went to 2 psychiatrists in Malaysia, and they are Muslim, I would say. They didn't understand my transgender so much, and the advice they gave me is to stop, by asking me questions like, who do you prefer more? Those days I date females. I prefer female dating. I did not fell in love with a guy, because transgender is just me being a girl. Who do I like is just a different thing. I can be gay as a transgender, or I can be bisexual as a transgender. I can also be a threesome thing. It's just my gender identity, transgender. So That time, I remember those two of these psychiatrists. They asked me this. They told me to stop doing this, because since you like female and doesn't tally your character and stuff like that, But when I came out when I was 19, I left the orphanage home when I was 19 years old. And that time, there's another psychiatrist I met. She's Indian and she graduated from London. So what happened is she told me, this thing, if you stop and does it create a depression in me? I said, yeah, I'll be more happy dressing up like that. So she said, continue doing it, because if you stop what you're doing, depression will go up, and that's where you find a lot of people, a lot of all this transgender committing suicide because of this. They're suppressing and their own, they are not expressing it properly. They're not expressing themselves. They're not being themselves.
You're from Malaysia, and Malaysia is predominantly a Muslim country. So, are there any legal repercussions for being transgender in Malaysia?
Yes, there is. Being a trans in Malaysia, I won't use the word legal to be, but actually you can express yourself. But there is a law. If you cross-dress, you'll get into. If they want to catch you and then put you into jail, they can do it, right? Because there is a white. It's written black and white in the constitution.
So is that the reason why you're in Thailand?
Not really, but Thailand. The reason why I'm in Thailand here is because most of the clinics here do provide those transgender care. Like if I want to prescribe hormone, if I want to take hormone by myself, there's a lot of doctor here who are willing to prescribe to you with a reasonable price, and then they take care of your health too. Like if, for example, if like hormones, those things that we consume, estrogen, right? If long period of time, if a person is smoking too much, right, it could cause stroke. But that's a very, very minority, very minimal. Like out of 100 people, there's only going to be 1 or 2 person who's going to get it.
So what kind of hormones do you take?
Estrogen. One of the brand is called Progenoa. You can get it from any pharmacy. But before you do that, you go to, there's a clinic in Hoi Quang that I go through, and then consult the doctor there, and they will tell you what to take. Like for example, I'm 36 years old, so as soon as I'm above 30, there's another hormones that I need to take. It's called the anti-androgen pill. It's like to stop my testosterone going into my body. So because I have fully developed a male feature now, to stop that I need to take that anti-androgen. But before 30, right, you can get away with just taking hormone. You don't have to take the anti-androgen pill.
Are there any side effects for any of these hormones?
What's actually happened in our community is the people are overdosing themselves. These are the biggest problem in the transgender society, is because of they want the effect fast, but to understand science, this takes 30 years to build this body. Of course, it's going to take 2-3 years to build the female body that we want to, but they can't have the patience with it, and then they just keep on 6-7 pills a night. Of course, overdosed.
So tell us about the first time you dressed as a woman in public.
When I came out from the closet when I was 28. Then I fully dressed as a female in public. Right, the fear, I was very fiery because I was getting all this attention, like very, what do you call this? What word can I put this? It's kind of like they just stare at you, just look at you with curiosity, like this kind of stare look, I don't know what's the best word for to describe this stare, but it's just everybody would just look at you in a very funny way, I would say,
Have you been to any other countries, and what was the reaction of the people there to you?
I was working for an airline. I was cabin crew, traveling around the world. So I've been to Europe, US, China, Japan, and Africa countries, South America, and most of this country that I've been through are quite friendly, like US, South America, and Europe. Thailand as well is very accepting. Philippines as well, not so bad. Africa is the country that don't really accept you. They allow you to dress, but they don't really see you as like, hey, there's something wrong with you, because they're quite religious. And Middle East country like Qatar, Kuwait and all stuff, no, you can't do this there. It's against their law. I did it once and I got into trouble. Like, just they gave me a warning, say, hey, you cannot do this. Yeah. And then they search your bag, search over your bras and all those stuff. Is this your girlfriend? I'm the girlfriend.
I have to ask, what's your sexual orientation? Are you attracted to men? Are you attracted to women?
I would say 80% are attracted to women. I'm attracted to men when I'm dressed up like that, but now I'm you can put me in the category of asexual. Like, I'm not interested in sex anymore. Maybe because of the hormones that I'm taking, it doesn't allow me to erect, like I have very low sex drive. In fact, I would not even interested engaging sex is because of the effect of the hormones. Yeah, okay. That's part of the side effect. Yeah,
that's a pretty big side effect, isn't it?
No, no, it's even better, right? If I don't engage in sex, I don't have to deal with someone else problems.
Would you ever consider having penis removal surgery?
Not for me. It's a very complicated surgery, and again, like I said, I still like to date girls, and on and off, especially when I'm in a comedy show. Sometimes I do get girls approaching me and all those stuff, and I like them. I find them cute. So no, in future, because I still use them for sexual desire, I would say. In fact, I do get turned on with myself more than do get on with my partners,
So you're attracted more to yourself than you are to
my partners, yes.
Okay.
Even sometimes when I do makeup myself before coming here to do this, interview, when I put on makeup, I look at myself, wow, she's pretty, she's hot, like.
And what do your partners feel about that?
Yeah, some couldn't accept it, I remember one time I was in Bangkok, I was dating this girl, can't say her name. She was in Chiang Mai, and then we were sexually active. And then she came back one day, she found that I have 4 or 5 lingerie, like bra and panties, hanging outside for drying. And then she came back like, who else are you sleeping with? She got so jealous, she think that I have another girlfriend. I said, who's the girlfriend? I said, no, I do not have girlfriend. The girlfriend is me. I'm dating myself. So
you're dating yourself.
Yeah, so I have to prove her wrong.
So are you in a relationship now?
No, I'm not in a relationship. I'm probably single. Yeah, I mean, I do hook up a little while here and there sometimes, sometimes with female, sometimes with male. But because of these hormones that I'm taking, it really reduces like no sex drive. Even if someone is interested in me, so I've said, especially female who wants me to be in the top position, and then I'll say, here you have to wait for 2 weeks for the hormone to capsize. I have to stop hormone for 2 weeks for me to get the erection back.
And what about in your previous relationships? How did your partners think about you as a transgender person?
I would say I'm married before, like 2-3 years back, with a Thai female. She's fully female, not a trans. So I got a kid with her, a daughter. She's 5 years old now, and I would say she's not very supportive with it. That's why also like I have to be a bit of like taking care of her feeling at the same time. Like if I take hormone, I have to make sure that I'm not with her that time, and I have to stop it when she wants it, So it's kind of hard, and she's not very supportive. She's not against it, but she's not very supportive of it.
How about your daughter? When you go and meet your daughter, are you dressed as a woman?
When she saw me when I'm going out for comedy, like when I'm going out for a show, performing on a show, she saw me dressing up like that. Sometimes she tell me, Papa, big. I say, Papa, not really big, but Mommy really small, So yeah, like she's too young to know what is going on yet.
And do you feel like in Thailand you can be yourself?
In Thailand, it's the best place in Southeast Asia to be yourself, I would say. Yeah, because in my country, we are viewed as transgender. In Thailand, it's just normal.
They accept you. Thai people just accept you, right?
I don't even need the acceptance. It's already accepted among the society. I'm just hey, like you are just like everyone else here.
And is that a good feeling?
Yeah, I like this more. It's like you don't get the attention as much as you get in Europe, I would say, because in Europe, guys would just approach me and then they're like, we don't find you a lot in our country, and then they're willing to buy me drinks sometimes, and ask me for a night out or something like that. But in Thailand, you don't get boys coming up to you because to be the transgender here, or I say the lady boys, are very, very, very good looking. I'm the back of the line if I'm queuing here for a beauty pageant or something like that. I'm at the back.
So guys in say Europe, they're interested, are they? Is it?
In generally they are more liberal. I would say the Western Europe, Eastern Europe, not so much. I can still find them, but in Western Europe, they found me through Tinder, Grindr, the app's called Grindr. They find me there.
Would they go and meet you in public, or would it be kind of private meetings, or what?
In public, you have to in public, and also like you do that as a cabin crew. I fly. Let's say, for example, I fly to Germany. As an example, I'll switch on my Grindr, and then someone would just tag you. Some boys will be very creepy. It just turn me off, and then I don't engage with them. And some boys are they're very good at their flirting skills, and then the way they talk is so charming. Yeah, I don't mind going with guys like this.
And are you happy now?
Oh yeah, very, very. In fact, I'll really like how fast the hormones gonna work for me for me to have my breast surgery.
So you'll have breast surgery, and then will there be any other kind of surgery after that?
No, I don't think normally. For to do the breast surgery alone, I need to wait for the hormones to take effect. That will take up to 2 to 3 years. I have to be very patient, and sometimes I have distraction, like when a girl approaches me, then I have to stop hormone for 2 weeks just to sleep with her, and then again I have to start it again. It will even drag longer. That's what the issue is here. But yeah, in future, if I do the breast surgery, in the beginning it was like this, when I start taking hormone, changing into female, I thought that girls are not interested in character like me, like, hey, transgender, no girls will like you only find boys. But I was so wrong. Girls do like that. It's because in the society, it's no longer just female and male. There are girls who just like feminine boys. I was like, yeah, I've been in Bangkok when I do show. I think I have slept with 2-3 of girls here in Bangkok itself.
Really?
Yeah.
Thai girls?
One Russian. I shouldn't even say Russian, but 2-3 Thai girls. Yeah.
And they were attracted to you dressed as a woman?
Yeah, they saw me in club. I was performing in the club, and then we talked after that, of course, and then we engaged in our conversation. And if she found out that I do date girls, and say she liked my boobs, I was like, what? Right, I can show you off later in my room or something like that. Yeah, they came over and then we have something here. That time I wasn't on a hormone, but if I'm hormone, then she's bad luck, she can't sleep with that night itself.
So you're a comedian as well, right?
Yep, I'm a comedian.
Is comedy a way for you to express your feelings and emotions on stage and kind of say whatever you want? Or why did you get into comedy?
For me, being a comedy has nothing to do with my gender. It's more about me. When I was young, I loved to criticize things, and then in the school, I always get punished by teacher because of don't know how to take care of my mouth. I just say things very straightforward and very critically, insulting, making fun of someone, not realizing it's a bad thing, for them. But I'm making everyone else laughing because of their gender, because of their religion, especially their race, like something I said, like Chinese, you guys are small, Because I'm Chinese as well, I don't feel offensive, but everyone laughed a bit. They felt very offensive, something like that. Yeah. I like to make people laugh, and this is such a unique character that I have with me. Such a, I would say, a gift that I can make people laugh so much, and I'm happy doing it. I don't mind people coming in for a night out just to laugh.
Where can they see you? If people want to come and see your set, where can they see you?
Raw Comedy, Sukhumvit 13 every Wednesday. I'll be there doing open mic, and you could see me in virtual comedy show every Saturday. That will be on Zoom live on internet, and also sometimes I do perform. If I do go back to Malaysia, I do perform in the Joke Factory as well and Crack House. This are the two famous comedy club in Kuala Lumpur that I do perform there. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, we give you a shout out, of course, if you're gonna do the interview and people want to see you do your set as well. Anyway, but before I just want to say another thing. Got a question here. What do you say to people that are watching this now that are judging you or have judged you?
Well, I don't mind them judging. It's because the problem with us actually as a transgender is that we couldn't control. We no longer have taught the ability to control our own emotions. So when people say, "Hey, you chick with dick," we get offensive straight away. We get angry straight away. By rights, I have learned how to control it. And then when someone calls me chick with dick, I'll try to turn that into a joke. Instead of viewing it as a negative point of view. But if that kind of negative judge. But if they're gonna just say, "Hey, why are you dressing like that? There's something wrong with you. Hey, our religion don't allow that. In religion, for example, Muslim will say this is haram, you shouldn't be doing this, and this kind of judge, then I'll have to just ignore it because you can't criticize them back. It's gonna leads into problem that you don't want to hit, especially in Malaysia.
All right, Serene.
Thanks, Pete.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It's been a very interesting learning experience for me.
As it was for you as well?
Yeah, I did a lot of research on this, and LGBTQI plus, is it?
LGBTQIA and plus.
Yeah, I had to do all the research on it, and it was very interesting. I enjoyed your story, and I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
I hope you enjoyed this
storm.
Bangkok storm we got going on out here.
I prefer the storm. It's because the weather is getting really hot this past week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the daytime it's really hot. Without the sun, with the sun it's very hot. Now without the sun I'm happy.
All right, folks. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to our channel. We're on 22,000. We'd love to get to 25,000. And we need your help to do it. So thanks very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers. Good evening.